Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. Now, here's your host, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram.
Hello, everyone. This is Michael Anthony Ingram, and welcome to a very special episode of Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. Today, I am joined by the participants and winners of the Aaron R. Poetically Correct Poetry Contest. It's the very first one. The poets are as follows. Got the poets' names here. All right. Joel King Atterbury. Allison Autry. All right. Farida Abdel Aziz. And Hilton Lewis. Those are the participants so far. What I'd like to do is to turn the program over, though, to Aaron R. to talk about the concept of the contest. Aaron R.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Michael. It's a pleasure and privilege to be back on the show, as usual. Happy New Year to you and to everybody out there. And I'm super excited for the participants to join and share some of the awesome poetry. Really, as some of you know, others who don't, I'm Aaron R. the poet, and I really love poetry. So I've been doing my own poetry and turning them into poetry videos where I edit, produce them, and things of that nature. So that's kind of what got this competition going. Is I know it's a lot of poets out there, and I just wanted to find a way to connect with them kind of worldwide, and for them to be able to share their talent and for us to be able to network and just come and do something together. So the first contest, like you said, we had last month in December, and all of these poets just came in and they did a wonderful job, as y'all are about to hear in a little bit. And we did have two winners, Hilton and Allison. So there were a total of, I think, 8 poets who got in the competition. As Michael knows, the judging was super hard because everybody was super talented. So this is going to be something that I'm going to try to keep going. We're going to have another one January 24th. So we have some people signed up for that already. And I'm just going to keep trying to bring our poets together and network and see how we can just keep growing this circle of wonderful poets.
Who are the judges? I know I'm one of the judges. Who else was a judge, my friend?
The other judge was Brian Donnell James. Shout out to him. He was the winner of the World Food Day Poetry competition in 2020. So he was another judge. And then I also assisted with judging. So it was us 3.
All right, fantastic. So what I'd like to do now is to bring on the very first contestant. His name is Joel King Atterbury. Joel, you're on. Excuse me one more time, Joel. He hails from Cape May, New Jersey. Joel.
Yes, sir. This is a piece I laid.
All right, we're ready for you to start. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 2020 long gone. Some people lost their vision. Happy New Year. Better step up your living. Make this year different. Be thankful that you're here. So many lost their relatives. My prayers in the air. Healthcare is messed up, greedy for them dollars. Pharmaceuticals might be helping out their partners. COVID ain't a joke. Boost up your immune system. How we keep forgetting, pay attention, please listen. What's really needed is growth in society. Government changing quietly. We need to make inquiries. Move accordingly, just like some of our elders be. Some be disorderly. I stand on grounds formally. Dream bigger. Use tools so you can make progress. Leave alone the nonsense and love hug what's honest. My ticket coming soon. Watch the poet in the room. The Guardian from Harlem speaking up this afternoon. Peace, love, and poetry.
All right. Very nice.
Thank you.
Please share another piece of your work.
Yes. Can you hold on a second? Okay.
Yes.
This one I call NASA. Excuse my present self as I open up the world. Feel and reveal. Shit is real, boys and girls. I refrain from being messed up from politics and snakes. Watch the rats and the cats hire a gardener with a rake. I done seen workers turn for a shift and $1. Can't trust them like the news, speak on men with them collars. Y'all could support NASA with satellites taking pictures. When the wrong is on, they storm is coming for dark figures. My dad didn't do things. My uncle didn't lose it. My grandfather's indirect influence was to use it. Mind over matter. Watch how the game in another way. I am more like no way when they okay and obey. So I say, oh, babe, excuse the modification on the poetry. She noticed me and I know it's me, synchronizing who I be. Lead the world to its Karens, Jessicas, and Ericas. With the Alicias, Keishas, and Ritas, we always survive America. Peace, love, and poetry.
Peace, love, and poetry. Do you have another one for us?
Yeah, I can share one more with y'all. This is called Let's Go Until We Get There. This one night that we both share, undress each other with a fair stare. Moment in time, our fears and care bring a daydream out of nowhere. No consequences on the backboard. You know what both of us came here for. Natural occurrence of a nice afternoon or a midnight cruise and closed doors. Hug the love with a tasteful embrace. Time is lost on our mental escape. Heart race, let me slow it down for you. All that matters is a memorable date. Eyes closed, feel the vibes and connect. Sweet kisses on your cheek and neck. Mutual respect, what comes next? Let me show you how the real king get. Peace, love, and poetry.
All right, I like that. Question for you. What was an early experience where you learned that poetic language had power? Where did you learn it had power?
I learned this at an early age. I'd say I was about 16, back in my Harlem days. That's where I'm originally from, Harlem, New York. So I grew up around the Renaissance. So one of my teachers was Abi O'Doon from The Last Poets. So he taught me about the power of listening to instruments and the power of words, I say. So that's where it all started from.
All right. Do you think you were meant to be a poet?
I used to MC back in the day, but I didn't know I was going to take it on this grand scale as being 49 years old to this day and age and the author of 10 books. So,
oh, wow.
I mean, poetry books. So things are manifesting out through the Creator.
That's beautiful, man. Aaron, you got any questions for Joel?
King, I would just say tell the people, I guess, what you have coming up next.
Well, I'm also the host of the Poetry Corner, which is on Facebook Live, the Let's Talk platform, and we have a show every Tuesday at 8:00, which is we have the season finale, which is this Tuesday, season 2, episode 12, for Grown and Sexy. So please come tune in. So we doing some things out here. You know, any poets that would like to be a part of the show, they can contact me, through myself, King Atterbury, Joel Washington Atterbury on Facebook, or you can contact Aaron and just let me know. Let's all have some fun.
Right. That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right. All right. Oh, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. What I'd like to do now is to bring on Allison Autry. Allison hails from Pensacola, Florida. Allison,
hello.
How are you? Hello. Allison was first runner-up in the contest. First runner-up.
Yeah.
And we're so glad to have her with us. Please share some of your work, Allison.
Yes, sir. Is it okay that I only have one poem today? It's actually
that's fine.
the same. It's the same poem from the contest, but
okay.
This poem is called "Hell on Earth." I spread love. I love kindness, but this world is not kind. It hates my curves and my cocoa-colored skin. It hates my nerve and when I speak eloquence. It hates when I love myself. It loves when I hate myself. It hates when I respect myself. and love when I object myself. They hate me because I am myself. I am black. I am a woman. And as such, tell me, what rights do I have left? I am human. I am not an object, but of course Mother Earth gets the most disrespect. My afro is my treetop. It bears the forbidden fruit of good and knowledge of their evil. My soil, rich with the elements they can't destroy with their distraction. PR is for propaganda. I turn my TV off and pay attention to their actions. Deeply, I conclude that freedom is only a concept they allude for. Their desire to oppress exposes the horns on their heads. Victims of their sadistic pleasures of powers, we are. Victims of their torturous lies. Tell me how we can have freedom when we don't even have rights. Don't be blind, open your eyes. This world we live in is ran by devils that don't even have the decency to wear a disguise. I spread love. I love kindness. But this world is not kind. It hates people. It loves pain. It loves money. It hates change. Creating slaves is how they do things. I spread love. I love kindness, but this world is not kind. I stepped outside, and my feet were burned by the heat. Suddenly, it feels like the hell on earth they reached. It's too late. Only God's love can save us from this fate. Thank you.
Wow, that was extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And for you, the same question. What was an early experience where you learned that poetic language had power?
Well, for me, my love for just the power of words and just the beauty in them actually started in music. And listening to hip-hop, listening to people like Tupac and Nas when I was younger, and my sister was playing it, and then I guess at a young age, I just fell in love with how they structured it, how they told their stories, and the way that they did it.
Do you think you were meant to be a poet?
Well, not specifically. Personally, I do like so many things. I dance. I do music, as in I play instruments. I write songs. I sing. I make clothes. I paint. I model. I act. And I write poetry. So I consider myself to be an artist in its various forms because to me poetry is an art. So I consider myself to be an artist.
I was going to say, yeah, because you do pretty much it all from what it sounds like. Yeah, which is great. I think one other question, Alice, and I had is, I guess from this poem that you just performed, you know, I think one of the things was just how deep it was. I guess, do you think most of your stuff has like that deeper meaning, you know, just about being a woman or African American or some of the struggles you have? Or I guess, how did you end up putting that piece together?
Well, that piece came from, I had been writing. For the past, I would say 3 years, I've been battling like a health issue that, couldn't get a formal diagnosis. So I started to see things from a deeper perspective, and I had been writing, but this piece, I would say, is my pieces do have that, but this piece I feel like is definitely my favorite because I feel like it came from a more specific place. Before, it had been about how I was feeling, how I felt like I was being consumed, in the darkness, or I've been writing, to get myself out of it. But this piece was like, me breaking free. Like, this piece was me observing and feeling and, just for the first time being like, this is how I feel, this is what I see, and, being vocal about it. And I would say I wrote this piece when I was like maybe 17, I would say. But even then, like, it's my favorite piece, and like it's the energy I want to bring into my future pieces. That's why I'm only sharing one poem today, because to me, none of my current stuff, like, it matches up to this one. So, like, I don't know. I feel like it definitely sets the tone for the future, for what's coming.
Awesome.
Nicely stated.
Wonderful. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Allison, and congratulations on being first runner-up.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right. I'd like to bring in now.
Michael, I think we have some people that dialed in, too. You got them? Awesome.
Yeah. I've got two more people who dialed in.
Perfect.
Let me bring them
right
in.
On it, my man.
I think that'll work. Let's see who we got on the line. Area code 917, you're on the air. Your name is? The first three numbers are 528.
Oh, that's me,
Maybe
sir. My name is James Dean Rivera. How you doing?
James Dean, there he is. Yep.
All right, James.
That's who that is.
All right, great. Thank you for being able to join us. All right, we'll be back with you, all right?
Welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Then we've got one more here. Area code 516, the first three numbers are 360. You're on the air. Your name is?
Yes. It's Jerome J. Wrights.
J. Wright.
Jerome.
What's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, guys, man. I love you guys, man. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so honored, so blessed.
All right, fantastic. We'll be back with you, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. As I said earlier, I'd like to bring in another very talented performer. Her name is Farida Abdel Aziz.
Hello.
Farida, you're on the air. Hello.
Good to be here.
Hello.
Hey, Farida.
Oh, hey, Aaron. So should I start?
Yes, please start.
Excellent. This one is called Heart in a Box. This morning at my door I found a box. I was still in my black robe and my warm socks. I looked around and found a warm summer breeze. I closed the door and for once it closed with ease. I sat in my kitchen and opened the lid. Beating, your heart between the papers hid. I took it and it stopped beating as fast. put it on the pedestal so it would last longer than the moon rocks and the sun rays in that jar. My skin you like, and in my eyes those scars. I went out to get you something from Uranus or Mars, poured you the moon and picked you stars. Took from my heart that poisonous ink, gave it to the trees so they would blink, then picked the fruit between the leaves, stole his thought from the mightiest of thieves, came back home and eyed with pleasure your heart on the pedestal, my only treasure, threw away the moon and the glowing rocks, and decided to give you my heart in a box.
Beautiful.
Thank you. That's the first one.
All right.
I'll go back to the second. This year I have witnessed the passing of time exposed to the elements. Once all up to our prime, now living a life without precedent. If thoughts were flowers in a land where only few care about the earth, think high and tall of beautiful plants and birds. Enjoy your time with loved ones and passion. Fill your day with laughter and compassion. Now that time is no longer linear and the days are hard and unending, what is left for us is resilience and mending. Be kind to one another, but don't forget to sneak a smile on your face as you tackle life with only grit and grace. And the third one, this is for my parents and Christian. Instead of being led by pain and sorrow, and day by day borrow worries from tomorrow, extinguishing the fire that is the present, turning from the sun and the crescent, believe in the good and also the bad. To live in happiness, one must first be sad. There are no wrong feelings when it comes to living, so one must always be generous and giving. Only a life is lived selflessly, that one will be said to have lived endlessly. And that's my 3 poems, Michael.
All right, very
awesome.
nice, very nice. Very, very nice. So
Excellent.
I ask you the same question. What was an early experience where you learned that poetic language had power?
I think it was because I was born and raised in Egypt, and I think my earliest memory is one of my grandfather. He would always sit on a yellow chair, and he taught me how to read Arabic, and he would always tell me poems, Arabic poems, beautiful poems, and he was so good with the melody of it, and he would explain it to me. I was a child, and I think this is when I realized the power of word. Yeah, that must be
All
it.
right. All right. Very nice. Now, as you think about your work, all of your work, do you think that you were meant to be a poet?
I think I was meant to be a storyteller, and I'm mainly an actor, and so I think you'd notice that most of my poems are driven by a story or by a character, and this is most inspiring for me, as Aaron would know from the show before, that I like to look at strangers and imagine a story revolving around the life that I would never know, and I think that's the magic of it.
A storyteller. Aaron, questions from you?
Yeah, and I think that is interesting, like you say, because some of your paintings you turn into like some of your poems too, right, Farida?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So, what's next for you with, your poetry or your storytelling? Is there anything that people can look forward to?
Yes, actually, it's thanks to you and the Poetically correct that I'm going to start actually tomorrow. Start a channel on YouTube and read my poetry in a channel of my own poetry, and then
awesome.
I'll couple it with the paintings that inspired me. So it'll be a voiceover of me and my painting. And my poetry.
Well, that's very nice. Very nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll have to share that
Farida,
channel
thank
with
you.
us too, so we can check you out.
You're most welcome. Of course, I will.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
If I did not share,
Thank you so much,
Farida
Michael.
hails from Los Angeles. All right. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. All right. This is going well, Aaron.
Yeah, man, I know. I'm excited, man. I'm still excited. We got some great poets, and we got some other great ones coming up, too. So this is wonderful. Appreciate you, man, as always.
Oh, yes. Anything for you, my friend. Anything for you. I'd like to bring on now the winner of the contest. His name is Hilton Lewis, and he's in Austin, Texas. Hilton, are you there?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Hilton, Happy New Year.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All
what
right.
do you
should I
think
just get to it? Go ahead.
Yes, please, just start.
Okay. I'm going to share 2 poems, the 2 that I used in the Poetically Correct contest, and then I'm going to share 3 other poems. But I'll start with the first one. It's called My Heart Cries. My heart cries. It cries for the innocent lives dropping into body bags that can't hold the weight of grief and pain their families will experience. It's crazy how a black man's demise has been seen through society's eyes for centuries, but the injustice is hatred and black team, white team culture continues to rise. I'm a middle-class white man, but I don't ignore our building. It has rooms filled with cliques and groups, separated by skin color, culture, and worldview. This building is crumbling, its foundations are shaking, and its body is quaking. People who feel privileged and superior break down the walls and hack away at its pillar, hoping to demolish it. This building is our building of humanity, embracing our differences and expressing compassion to others in their weaknesses. The covered lady getting her hijab ripped off because it doesn't belong here. The Mexican man being profiled as an illegal immigrant. The Asian families being blamed for global pandemic. Another mass shooting, another racist act, another wall broken down, another piece taken from our precious building. We are people living and breathing, different rooms to the same building. My words and expression aren't enough to stop this oppression. A post on Instagram won't resurrect the dead or fix the rubble from our building or heal the wounds that I simply cannot imagine what it's like bearing. It takes action, humility, and persistence. Invite others into your room and share with them your story and the trials you've been through. People believe the lie that others are so different, it's not worth trying to understand them. To my black friends, I'm sorry for labeling you or profiling you in any way, even if it's just a passing thought in my head. To my Asian friends, I'm sorry for assuming your academic success just because of what society says. To my Muslim friends, I'm sorry for the false idea planted in my head that Muslim somehow means terrorist. I'm sorry for assuming your economic status. To my gay friends, I'm sorry for not standing against evil and hatred toward you within the church. To everyone, I'm sorry for not speaking out when I see and experience injustice day by day. My heart cries. Sometimes our building falls as the debris keeps bleeding. Sometimes our evil system is fueled by our consistent lack of fighting back. To build back our walls, we have to acknowledge our own faults. We have to put our 2 feet in the debris and feel the broken pieces of other people's shattered walls. My heart cries. A cry for hope, a cry for peace, a cry for building back our building, a cry that our wounds will be healed and the scars will be remembered. So there's my heart cries.
Awesome, man.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. This next one's called No Easy Way. A new day, bright sun, put a smile on my face. Don't break that smile, don't tell them how I feel like a disgrace. Every night before bed, these thoughts attack me and haunt my head. I think of all my mistakes. I think of the lies, pride, and hurt I've caused. It's caught around my neck as a heavy weight. This isn't a joke. It's not some game, not a story for attention or fame. This is my battle day after every wretched day. I'm tired and I'm weak. These demons control me. Thoughts of suicide are more common than I want them to be. The darkness engulfs my soul. I'm stuck in this valley and I'm trapped in a hole. I want to see the light. I want to know it'll be all right. If you don't know what this is like, picture a dark cloud filled with the rain of your horrid thoughts. It hovers over you and it weighs you down. The pain is constant and won't go away until lightning strikes you and you're just too late. I wish there was an easy way. I pray to God and I see my therapist. I journal down my thoughts. I'm so done with this. I trust God more than the air I breathe. But I'm running out of breath. Jesus, take hold of me. I wish there was an easy fix. Please be over. If God is real, why do I suffer? The pain won't stop and my hurt stays the same. God, why are you toying with my life like it's just a game? These wars inside I hide in fear of shame. I'm living that. Fake it until you make it. But I'm simply not making it. The Bible's supposed to fix me. I thought there was power in the cross, but I still feel so lost. Help me out. I'm too weak to continue. Truth is, we all have stuff to get through. Jesus doesn't fix all of our problems, but he's with us in the fight. He knows this war with life is not all sunshine and rainbows. He aches and screams. It hurts him to see our suffering, the cries and pain, the bloodshot eyes and popping veins. He watches it all, and it hurts his heart. Some of this pain is the result of the wrongs we caused, but we don't have to sit in them because he sees past our flaws. He hears me cry. He sees my efforts and watches me try to be good and try to fix it. But my problems sit like stagnant water, and life just mixes it. These trials force me to persevere, shape my character, and I feel like finally there's hope. God heals my wounds and wipes my tears. He sees my scars and he whispers truth to the fear. And then this next one is called The God I Know. You can tell from that last one I'm a Christian. And this one, titled The God I Know, is talking about the God I believe in and kind of breaking the stereotypes that are against Christianity in America. But here, you'll see. I've heard it. I sometimes say these phrases too. Christians are hypocrites. They judge and blame. I'd rather live in freedom to be who I want to be than serve a God who constrains me to Bible Belt society. Your God shames addicts, condemns gamblers, and despises the man who goes to the bar just to have a few drinks. Your God traps me in a box and tells me I can't do anything that I consider fun. Your God loves his people, meaning white middle to upper class America. Your God turns away from a person who cusses and those who commit a petty crime. I could go on and list all of the conclusions that people come to about the God of Christianity. Instead, I will unpack the reality of who my God is and why I serve him wholeheartedly. The God I know loves thieves. The God I know chose you and he chose me. Lover of homosexual or heterosexual, black or white, criminal or successful. You see, God does not shun us or judge us when we hate, steal, or lie. God's love. God is love. The issue lies with man. Religion or politics of the church, most of that stuff doesn't interest me. Christianity today has become less about God's grace, love, and mercy, and more about how I can use my story for my glory. To label the God of Christianity based on the actions of Christians is like labeling a teacher based on all the students' choices in their education. The God I know embraces us with a smile. The God I know wants you and all of you. He hurts when you hurt. He smiles when you smile. Please understand that to assume who my God is based on what I do will never, ever satisfy you, because I fail time and time again. But God will constantly be there for me and hold me tight. In my most difficult times, he embraces me and says, my son, and it's going to be all right. You're taking the actions of man to label a God you don't fully understand. Why not consider God to be your friend? He's more than we often think of him. All right, so that was the God I know, and I have two more to share, and I'll be done. This one's called Dear Depression. You showed up in 2014 when the depth of those memories became reality. Like a parasite infecting its host, you grew within me like a lurking ghost. You appeared on the scene. You screamed throughout my body, and you made me want to leave. I wanted to be free. I tried everything to kill you, but your grip was too tight for me. I was sick of the feeling of being alone, the feeling of being lost, the feeling of the evils on my the feeling of the evils of this world on my shoulders, and nothing to take it off. I tried chasing. I tried all the fun. I looked to girls. I looked at sports. I looked for more ways to be on top. It didn't matter because the night still came. When I laid in bed at the end of every horrid day, the thoughts of my failures, or I considered myself a joke. These thoughts were real, man. They choked my throat. Depression. You took hold of me like leeches on skin, Made me feel so defeated, like I could not possibly win. I prayed to God to take you away, but I felt alone in this, even when I prayed. 20 now, and I still got to fight, but I'm stronger than before, and I know it'll be all right. You don't define me. You're weak and crippled. I'm done with your negativity. You can get out of my way. You no longer haunt me. You may cause death to kids, and you're a burden to many. But let my life make an example of you. Depression, your strength is fake. It's far from truth. You're still real, and you inflict the most potent kind of pain, the pain that lasts for years. You love playing this game. But I'm here now, so take your best shot. I'll live with you for years, and you're still trapped in my thoughts. But I'm not you, and you're not me. Depression, you're just a fading away disease. So keep on trying, keep causing this crying. You may win the battles, but the victory's in the war. I'm done with you now, and I stand strong, ready for more. And this last one is probably my most meaningful one. I wrote this within the first month of finding out I had a friend who took his own life. To suicide, and so that's kind of the theme of a lot of my poems, is like mental health, because that's something I battle with as well. But this one has more imagery than the previous ones I shared, so to understand the full meaning, it's important to listen. But here we go. It's called Listen Before You Do It. Stop now. Take a breath. Hear me out. I am not you. Our stories are not the same, but I've been there. The red-hot tears, a scare, the flashbacks and setbacks, the lonely days and life as a hay. Just listen, my friend. Have you seen the way a potter molds clay? Battered down, smashed to the ground. A journey. No, I hate that phrase. Life's a war, it's the wins and battle we praise. Clay hit down and shaped day after day. Pounded and shaped until it becomes art that tells a story. I moved around with no concept of home. My older brother was bigger than me. Bigger and older, filled with anger and hate, confused and disconnected. There's no room to debate. He was lost and broken. Anger just filled him. He threw out all that anger on me. And those memories I set aside. Many years later, depression and trauma have scarred my life. I lived it. The sweat, the literal blood, the what if, the uncertainties, the thoughts flowed in like a flood. But just listen. Listen before you walk out this door. Counseling helped, and community too. But the truth, hurt stays there. There's just some things that a Band-Aid won't fix. Except you aren't as weak as you were before. I tell you, not to scare you. Please listen and stay. Remember the clay? I'm not even trying to go religious on you. I'm not even a fan of that term. But I fight this fight, so let me reaffirm that the potter shaped me into his masterpiece. I have scars, breaks, and hurt all over me. But the thing is, these cracks and imperfections make you more special. He takes all of that suffering and uses it for greatness. We feel damages and aches, and he transforms it into hope and strength. Just listen. Life sucks, but your decision now will impact everyone around you. A friend of mine. We grew up together over many years. However, right when we started bonding, he had to move away. Everyone sensed the struggle a hardship pays. I lost connection with him until months ago. Feels like yesterday. He took his own life. This news spread like wind. I wept harder than ever because I felt so distant from him. Listen. Please listen and stay. Everyone still grieves the loss to this very day. That could have been me or could have been you. But it doesn't have to be this way. I explain all of this to you because I love you, because I know you, but because the potter knows you. Just believe this truth. Just listen. One last time. Close your eyes and ears and hear the potter say, I love you. All of you. Every decision and every act. I love all of you, and I'm not finished with you yet. Your life is a treasure. Take hold. I'm molding the clay. Don't ever forget.
Powerful, powerful work.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I ask you the same questions that I've asked everyone else. What was an early experience where you felt that poetic language, again, had power?
I would say when I first released, I have my work on Spotify, and I released an album called Simply Love. And my poems were always, like, for me, just, like, processing and therapeutic and, like, coping with my struggles. And I didn't think I would ever share it. I thought I would keep it to myself. But then God and like my community were like, you really got to share this stuff. You can impact others with your powerful words. And so my vivid memory of the poetic language having powers when I first released my first album on like all music platforms, and I got feedback from like random people that I don't know around the world talking about how it impacted them. So like that was the first time that I realized my words and anybody's words through poems and like music writing has power.
All right, very nice. Now, do you think you were meant to be a poet?
I think I was meant to share my story, and I think that's reflected through my poetry, and it's reflected through this gift of writing. So yeah, I mean, I think I was meant to be a poet, I guess you could say, but I think it was more like I meant to share my story and the struggles that I've overcome with others so they can overcome those struggles too.
All right, very nice. Aaron.
Yeah, man, Hilton, those are awesome and very powerful. And I'm just wondering, too, as an artist, how your mental health and your, religion, I guess, do you ever feel like there's certain things that you didn't want to say because you didn't want, like, your audience to view you as a different person? Or, do you feel like by you expressing your struggles with mental health, it changes the way that people see you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely considered that a lot. The first album I released was more about my faith and was more about my worldview because I grew up overseas. Like, I grew up traveling a lot. And so it was more about, like, my experiences with other cultures, and then intertwined with that is, like, my love for the Lord and, like, that. That was my first album. But then I was like, this is truth. Like, this is good stuff, but this isn't me. Like, this isn't, like, raw, honest, like, about my depression or about my struggles with mental health. And then I was like, I should get my like more personal poems out there. And I definitely was considering that. I was like, I don't know what people will think of me if I like put this out. I don't want to be seen as like some guy who's like weak or like struggling. But then I put it out, and like the feedback I've gotten has been like such a blessing. It's like so much better than I ever anticipated. And so like those insecurities have just passed away almost completely after I put it out. It's like I feel like when anybody puts themselves out there in a vulnerable state and shares their story, like people aren't gonna like shut that down. They're usually a lot more positive, and your insecurities go away. It's just overcoming that first step of like having the courage to share your story.
Yeah. So that's awesome, and I appreciate you doing that because I think definitely you'll touch a lot of lives that way, because I know it's a lot of people who aren't that comfortable, but hearing you share your experiences probably will help them out too. So I guess, can you just tell the people how they can find your next album and your next stuff?
Yeah, so, I mean, my name's pretty unique, Hilton. There's not a lot of other Hiltons, so it's Hilton Lewis, Lewis. You can look me up on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. I'm going to release a new album that's much better than my first one because I actually paid to get a guy to help produce it, like with ambient background noise and stuff. But look it up there. You could also, I post updates on my Instagram page, which is just my name, hilton.lewis. But yeah, I'm going to be releasing a single within the next 2 weeks that will be featured in the new album. And this new album, like I said, is all about depression, anxiety, and mental health and overcoming it. So I'm super excited to share these with y'all.
Hilton, I will host a program in May, which is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'd like you to come back and share some of your work on the air.
Dude, of course, I'd love to.
All right. I'll be in touch. All right.
All right. Well,
thank you, and congratulations on winning the contest. All right, fantastic.
That. Y'all have a great day.
All right, you too, my friend.
Hilton.
All right.
All right.
I'd like to bring on now Jerome J. Wrights Bradley. Hold on 1 second here. Jerome, you're on the air.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. How's everyone?
Great. Where do you hail from,
Jay
Jerome?
Wrights, good.
Yes, Jay Wrights. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
All right. It's on you, my friend. Take it away.
Okay, guys, this is called Behind These Eyes. If you were to look behind this smile, you would encounter tears equivalent to a mile. Many promise to stand firm as a stone. Instead, I remain alone. This is my life before you. You have erased such a place with virtues I could taste. You are my today, my tomorrow, substance in the world without sorrow. Today, when you look into these eyes, you would only see you, a soul revealing a reflection of you, affection so true. My eyes were answering question for you. My life was a game I allowed people to play. You have shown me a better way. Now I burn to rise. You are the truth behind these eyes. So that's
Beautiful.
Behind These Eyes. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go right into the second one. It's called Forever Yours. You ran to me when life ran from me, dropping tears of sincerity in a world where loyalty is such a rarity. You are the force of truth which impacts my existence, holding on in times of resistance. Often you disclose a little girl in you. I love the world I discovered in you, a place where I can unshell with freedom to explore. Questions will be answered with no need to implore. You refuse to succumb to others' beliefs and perception, which was advised on past heartache caused by rejection. You stood for love when you made the right decision. Reality is what we live that was founded on a lovely vision. Every effect has a cause. My love for you makes me forever yours.
Forever yours.
And then I have one more. It's called Angel Eyes. Talk to me. Tell me, Angel Eyes. Reveal the thoughts that travel through your mind. Allow me to guide you when you are blind. The world stops each time I look into your eyes. I am mesmerized by your beautiful smile. The message I receive from you is love. Virtues only blessed from beyond and above. Angel Eyes, you have a way that captures me. You divert my attention. You steal my thoughts. I long for someone so true. You fill the void and erase all I've been through. You are worth it all. Your wings soften my fall. Angel Eyes, take my breath away. You show me the way, making me complete with each and every day. Angel Eyes, give me the chance to dry your tears. Communicate, disclose all your fears. I want to learn the depth of your thoughts and all you've been through. Angel Eyes, I want to know everything about you. Although I've never seen an angel, nor a divine being descend from the skies, I believe I see one each time I look into your eyes.
Nice.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
I ask the same questions of everyone. What was an early experience where you learned that poetic language had power?
I wrote a poem and I shared it with a guy, and he looked at the poem and I knew it had power, and I believed in myself at that point when he started crying. Now this was a hardened guy, and to see him cry, and it gave me goosebumps. And I said, wait a minute, I need to take this more seriously. I was playing around. So that's when I decided to really get into it, and I wrote a book behind, at that point.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Now, do you think you were meant to be a poet, my friend?
The crazy thing is, oh, man. Now I do. At the beginning, no. I just wrote from my heart, wrote from experience, and just wrote, just to, like I said, like pastime and, like I said, experience and going through things. But now as I look, as I've developed, yes, indeed.
All right, Aaron.
Yeah, man. And I know Jay Wright, we've gotten to know each other a little better through the contest and all of that stuff. And one thing I can say is that you definitely are always on the grind, and you definitely are passionate about what you're doing. So can you just talk to us a little bit about how you evolved into, I know one of the things you're doing now is like the voiceovers and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that and where you want to take your poetry down the road.
Yes. What happened with the voiceovers, with the music and everything with showcases, what happened was I always said to myself, if I'm in not a contest, just a showcase, and you have 10 poets, this is how it was in my mind. I said to myself, okay, what would make me stand out? So I decided to add music to it, storylines, doing voiceovers, and because, God has blessed me with a different type of a distinguished voice, I just utilized it, and people has asked me to do voiceover documentaries, and I've done a couple of things with that. But my main goal is to become like the songwriter, the guy behind the scenes writing the songs, and I'm just out here for the passion. I love what I do. I do all of this stuff. I invest in all of my stuff, and I put it out there for free to the world as my resume. And later on, everything is just going to, fall in place.
Yes, sir. So how can people find you down the road, Jay Wrights?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram, Jay Wrights, JWRITEZ, and on Facebook, Jerome Bradley.
All right, very nice. Thank you so much, Jerome. All right.
God bless you guys. I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. Thank you, guys.
All right, fantastic. I'd like to bring in now Mr. James Dean. You're on the air.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Thank you guys once again for having me. I really appreciate you guys very much on the platform y'all bringing out here. And I would like to read to y'all 3 pieces. The first one I would like to read to y'all is called Curvaceous Women, and here we go. What you call fat, I call curvaceous. More to love and thick in the right places. They hold such big personalities, created thick women accordingly. Thick thighs that mesmerize, curves that hypnotize, thick in the waist and ass all over the place. Most thick women are never insecure. They know us men love them for sure. For us, a skinny woman never does the trick. We get turned on by a woman that's thick. There's no use in fat shaming. The negativity that you're aiming, they'll laugh and laugh at your bony ass. Some of them will even steal your man. I love thick women always. Skinny women, I'm never satisfied, no way. I'm glad my lady is thick and curvaceous. She is the love of my life. Thank goodness gracious. And that's Curvaceous Women. The next poem I'd like to read to y'all is called No Longer. And this is something I wrote when I was 17, and here it goes. When I was young, I was shy. No one liked me, and I never knew why. I was different from the others and quiet. Could have changed, but I never tried it. I was always picked on because of my tight clothes. Stood back, did nothing is what I chose. I just let people physically and verbally abuse me, but to cheat on tests, they would use me. No girls seemed to want me, not the pretty ones or even the ones that were ugly. I was frustrated, I never understood why. Couldn't figure it out, no matter how I tried. I tried too hard to fit in, but I always stood out. Tried to be cool, but I was too much of a lout. But one day I stopped trying. Things suddenly changed. The problems no longer seemed to be within range. I started talking more to people. No longer did I feel I was feeble. I was no longer a scared little boy. No longer could anyone treat me like a toy. I evolved into more of a fighter. No longer was my life going to feel dire. I am now a man who takes shit from no one. These days are now gone. And now the last poem I would like to read to y'all is called Controlled Society. And here we go with that. We live in a controlled society. Who doesn't benefit? Neither you or me. We're trained to work like slaves day after day, work day after day till we're old and gray. We are trained to get good grades and get a good job with benefits, and most people will do it just for the hell of it. They say the best way to progress is to move up, get in a better position, become your own boss. But the problem is you're never your own boss, and most people don't realize that they're so lost. The working life is not as glamorous as it seems. It's all just one big pyramid scheme. We step over people trying to reach the top, thinking we got this career on lock. But you still have someone to answer to, and you could still get fired. A job is a cutthroat business, no sympathy required. Having your own business is the best option. Soon the way we've been trained will be forgotten. No more working for a boss, no one to answer to. Soon those days will be through. It's time to stop being a slave to a job or a career. Take the leap, take risks, face fears. No more corporate ladders to climb. It's time to take control of our lives. Thank you, guys.
All right, very nice. And I'll ask you the same question.
Yes, sir.
What was an early experience where you learned the poetic language had power?
Well, an early experience I had was, when I first went to the library and I was like 14 years old, and I'm typically a sports guy, read a lot of sports, at one point a stat head, but how much sports can you really read, right? So one day I stumbled upon a poetry book, and honestly, I don't remember exactly who it was written by or what it said, but I realized it was so to me because I never had, tried to write anything or attempt to before. So at that point, I was like, you know what? This sounds like something I feel like I should start doing. So I realized the power and the message it brings, and I just started writing poetry from 14 on.
Now, do you think you were meant to be a poet?
That.
Yes. Do you think you were meant to be a poet?
Well, I believe I was, yes. And the reason why is because, poetry is powerful. Poetry brings messages, and poetry also, tells stories as well. Although most novel writers will think otherwise, I feel like many poems do tell a story in addition to speaking power in words as well. So, yes, I do feel like I was meant to be a poet, to elicit the same message that they bring as well.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Aaron.
Yeah, and Dean of Poetry, I appreciate it again. One of the things that I definitely have noticed is you don't mind calling things how it is, in your poetry, which I think is refreshing. So I just wanted to know, do you ever, question, can I say this, or am I going to hurt so-and-so's feelings, or is it just one of the things where, you're just speaking your reality and it is what it is?
Well, I really feel like it is what it is because, no matter how you even try, whether you think that you're going to hurt somebody's feelings or not, there's always going to be, a couple people that will get offended by certain things no matter what you try anyway. So I'd rather just, say it the way it is what it is, and, you get a couple of critics, so you do, so be it. But stop me from writing how I feel, and, there's always a positive messages, but, you can't always please everybody, so... I don't let that go in the back of my mind.
That's very true.
Right.
And tell the people how they can find you down the road and what you're working on next.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at the Dean of Poetry. I also have a YouTube channel where I do poetry videos every Sunday called the Dean of Poetry as well. And I also have a website, the Dean of Poetry, where I have new blogs, poetry blogs, my merchandise that I have on sale on Teespring. And I'm also I'm having a new merchandise for Valentine's Day coming soon. So I'm going to let y'all know on that on my Instagram. You follow me at the Dean of Poetry, you get updates and stuff like that. And www.thedeanofpoetry.com as well.
Awesome.
And
right, very nice.
I have two. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. One other thing, I'm going to have 2 books out that you can get on Amazon, Words from the Heart and Deep Thoughts as well, that I just published this last month. Both available on Amazon.
Dean of Poetry. All right. Where do you hail from the Dean? Where are you from?
Again? I'm sorry.
Where are you from?
Me, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I'm from Brooklyn,
New York. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much. We have one more caller here, Aaron. Let's bring this person in. Area code 301. The first 3 numbers are 653. You're on the air.
Hey, how you doing? My name's Black Gladiator. I'll recite do some poetry today.
You would like to share a piece of poetry?
Yes. And
your name?
Poetry, is that okay? Black.
That would be fantastic, please. Yes.
Okay. Here we go. I just want to say, when you see me, you do not notice the demon hiding beneath the halo of my hello. You would never know I haven't drank enough liquor to piss it still. You would think I was able enough to house a horse in my chest. But there are some days, Some days the sunshine in my smile ripple with the hurricane in my heart. So they implanted my pride and the X of my existence, spark a revolution in my spirit to make me ask people why we living. Some days I feel like being half black and half white in America is just waking up in the morning to a fist fight in the living room. It feels like I've been forced on the parent that questions the legitimacy of parenting. You know, some days I wonder how dark I need in order to get down. While there's trees in the deep south that can testify how light a person got to be to hang around in the crowd, but some days I feel like I represent an entire race. So if I explode, then the character of all black people come into question. And my family say, you must always hold royalty to a high standard. But some days I don't feel much like a king or a prince. And some days the terrorists tunneling through the subway cars and my thoughts get the upper hand. And some days the hitman hiding in the hallways of my head wants to take hostage. And some days the poet in my perspective agree with the conspiracy theories of my conscience. Some days the soldier in my soul question what is the fight for, what is the hatred about, why are we at war with ourselves. Some days I have no idea where I'm going, and some days I don't know if I'll get there. Some days my stomach feel like carving, channeling, bubbling, overflowing with possibilities, waiting for someone to speak the right words. Some days I can't tell the difference between life and death. Some days I just want to shout to the high heavens, dear God, why is it so difficult to live, so complicated to love, to find comfort and vulnerability? These hands, this heart, my mind. I believe some days you are all too busy to hear us all screaming your name at the top of our lungs, so I am silent. I started writing to help people find their smile, and somewhere along these lines I lost mine. But some days I think my hello is a dying man's inspiration, and a stranger's excuse to open their closet doors. My shoulder a kick yard, and my ears a graveyard. My lips are vault. But there are some days, some days.
Wow.
That was nice.
I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'll ask you the same question. What was an early experience where you felt that poetry had power?
When I realized I was telling the horror of, when I realized I was telling the honor of someone else's story while living through the horrors of my own.
All right. Do you think you were meant to be a poet?
No, I think anybody that's a poet is basically apologizing to a gunman for bleeding so much.
Explain that. Tell me more.
Yeah.
So, to be a poet is to be cursed, to me, because the only reason I say that is because, all right, so you really want me to share my thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. I say it's apologizing to the government for getting so much is because I feel as though the more intelligent we are, the more difficult it is going to be for us to live together. And being a poet is basically being, how can I put it, a X on a map that no one can read. You know what I mean? It's basically like being a thug or a thuggy. But it's like basically, all I'm saying is this. I'm going to get something short. I said that because I feel as though being a poet is being a cursed person in life. I feel as though me being a poet, I've been swimming through problems, pools of problems, and I've been drowning ever since, So that's why I said that.
All right. I understand.
Okay.
Aaron, questions for this caller?
Yeah. Nope. Appreciate you for calling in, man, and keep on sharing your work.
I will. Thank
it's
you
very powerful. All right. Well, I think we've come to the conclusion of the program, Aaron. Any final thoughts from you?
Wonderful. No, again, as always, appreciate you for your work. For the people out there, you can check out my work at AaronRPoems.com. Again, we will be having another Poetically Correct contest January 24th. So make sure you go to AaronRPoems.com and register.
All right, very nice. I want to thank you, too, for allowing me to be a judge. It was very, very difficult finding a winner. But It was a great experience, and I wish everyone nothing but the best. Take care, everybody.
You have just listened to the Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio Podcast with your host, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. And make sure to catch our next episode.